As part of the ADP Research Institute's focus on all things people and performance at work, we ask this question of workers around the world: which do you think will help you be most successful, building in your strengths or fixing your weaknesses? And when you ask people that question, and it does vary a little bit by country, but less than 20% of people say building on my strengths. The grand majority of people say that the best way to be successful in life is to fix my weaknesses. We live in a world where we are fascinated by failure and weakness. We even in Silicon Valley, we say that your challenge is to fail fast, keep failing fast, go out there and fail again. As though if we do that, we will somehow excel. Why do we have this fixation with failure? Why do we believe something that's so manifestly not true, that excellence is the opposite of failure? Why, in order to learn about health, do we study disease? Why, in order to learn about how to have a happy marriage, we study divorce and then say, don't do that? Why, in order to keep our employees engaged, do we do exit interviews with the ones that leave? Why do we do that? 3 reasons. And each one of those reasons has a prescription, a different way of being. The first reason is that we seem to believe that excellence is just the opposite of failure. If you want to understand excellence, study failure and invert it. We need to change our view of that. Failure, study depression, study disease, and you'll learn a lot about disease, depression, and failure. And there's some things you can do to remediate that. And you can go from -6 to 0. Fixing failure takes you to 0. If you want to excel, then you've got to go on a totally different journey. You've got to study excellence in order to understand it. You can't infer excellence from studying failure. So that's the first thing we need to get our heads around. The second thing we should flip our minds around is around fear. We focus on disease because we fear disease. We focus on exit interviews because we fear people leaving. We need to be so careful that we don't let our fear define our reality. There's a whole school of change management which says very clearly that change follows the focus of your attention. So if you want to get more of the thing you're fearful of, then you will focus on the thing you're fearful of. If you want to get more of what you want, more of what you aspire to, then you've got to focus on what you aspire to. You've got to focus your attention on the things where excellence lives, because then you in your life, your team in its life, your company in its life will move toward the thing that has your attention. And the third thing, of course, is that we seem to think that the best way to help you grow is for you to identify your flaws and then us give you feedback on them so you can fix the flaws. Well, that's a total misunderstanding of how learning works. Everybody learns through insight. People learn by refining and maximizing patterns that are already there within them. And that means the raw material for your future greatness is your current goodness. We shouldn't focus on all of your weakness fixing, not just because it will only get you to 0, but because your pattern of greatness will come out of the patterns which are already working for you. So if you want greatness for yourself, or if you want greatness for the people in your family or the people you work around, pay really close attention to what works in their life right now. When do they learn the most? When do they lean in? When do they seem to do something which really grabs people's attention? When are they in flow? Like, look for those moments that work, because those moments are the raw material that they can then weave into even greater and greater contribution. If we can remove our fixation and our fear of weakness and instead honor and admire and build upon what works, then we're in such a better position to see the best of all of us.